Welcome to HDTV. You now rocking with your boy. I think people forget how great players are. And I blame that on the media. I blame that on everybody who not only does that, but it's just that they only promote certain players. Like each generation, they make this player out to be the greatest of all time. But they never talk about those who could have been. Grant Hill. People forget Grant Hill was balling. People forget about Reggie Lewis, who just died suddenly from a heart problem. They forget how good he was. And I just think people just love to tear down players to make other players great. Like, I get on LeBron a lot of times calling him LeBrownies because he is LeBrownies. I mean, he's cool, when everything's all good, but when things get tough, he starts to crumble. Like when you keep a brownie in the oven too long, it crumbles. But what people forget, everyone talk about him being a big guy, big forward, doing what he does. Penny Hardaway was doing everything before LeBron was doing it. I think people forget that Penny at one point in his career, he was putting up, almost at his best, he was putting up 22 points a game. And his assists, they were like at 7.1. He was averaging 7 to 8 assists, sometimes 10 assists a game, and he was still putting up over 20 some points. Now free throw wise, for his career, he was a 77% free throw shooter, but overall, man, he made big plays. And I think people forget how great Penny was. Penny could guard like 1 through 1 through 3, sometimes 4. He was a point guard, a small forward, and a shooting guard. He was 6'7", 6'8". He was a 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, and All-Rookie in 93 to 94. The Magic didn't take off to the playoffs until he came. So I just think people forget, how great Penny Hardaway was. His first season, he played 82 games and he started 82 games. He averaged 16 points, and he had 2 steals per game, 7 assists. He averaged 5 rebounds. Now this is key. He averaged 2 offensive rebounds, which is damn high for a guard. And he averaged 3 defensive rebounds. So, which would be 5. Now, free throws, he was at 74. Wasn't a real strong free throw shooter. He was great at what he did, attacking the basket. He was 27% from the 3-point line. He was 47% from the field goals. His field goal percentage. So, he did his thing. And then 94, 95, he played in 77 games, started 77 games. He was averaging 51% from the field. He had a post game. 3-pointers, it jumped up tremendously to 35%. And his free throws went up to 77%. His rebounds are at 4. His assists were still at 7. His steals are at 2. He had 0.3 blocks, where he had 1 block his first year. He had and he was averaging 21 points. He had 4 turnovers per game that dropped to 3. 95, 96. Penny played all 82 games again. He played 82 games. He played 2 seasons of 82 games. His field goal percentage that year was still 51%. 3-point percentage kind of went down to 31. He basically, I believe, attempted more. Yeah, he attempted more. He attempted 1 more attempt from 3. His free throw percentage was at 77 still. His rebounds were at 4. His assists were still at 7. His steals were 2 a game. He was averaging 1 block a game, 3 turnovers a game, and he was averaging 22 points per season. Now, the following season, he played 59 games. He played 59 games, started 59 games. He got hurt, I believe, that season. Yeah, he got hurt that season. And he had field goal percentage, he was around 45. And his free throws was at 82. His field goal percentage was around 45. It kind of dropped. His 3-pointers were at 32. His points, he was averaging 21. He had 1 block. He was averaging at least 2 steals, 4 assists, and 4 total rebounds. So Penny was doing his thing, and then, of course, he got hurt. In 97, 98, he had a serious injury, and he still was hurt. He got hurt again, I believe, in 98, 99. So his numbers kind of dipped. But now in the playoffs per game, when he was with Orlando, when he got to the playoffs, like in 93, 94, and 94, 95, he was averaging almost 19. Then he went to 20 points per game. He went from 7 turnovers to 4 turnovers. He had 2 blocks. Then it went down to 1 the following season. He had 2 steals, basically the same thing. He had 8 assists the following year after doing 7 his first year in the playoffs. He had 7 rebounds and then 4 free throws. He was at 70% his first year in the playoffs, and he jumped to 76. His field goal percentage, was 47. It went from 44 to 47 in the playoffs. 3-point percentage, he went up actually from the season. He was at 46% in the playoffs his first year from the 3. His second year, he dropped to 40. So he did better when the playoffs came. When the playoffs came, he did a lot better. 95, 96, he was at 23 points per game. He jumped up his third year in the playoffs. He only had 2 turnovers. He had 0.3 blocks. He dropped some. He had 2 steals. He basically averaged 2 steals in the playoffs during his career. Assist, he had he dropped to 6 from going from 8, and then total rebounds he went up to 5. Free throw percentage, his free throws were terrible. He was at 74. His field goal percentage was 47. 3-point percentage, it dropped to 36, then to 37. So he was averaging 31. He made a huge jump his 4th year in points to 31 points per game. He only had 2 turnovers a game. And his 4th year, he had 1 block, at least 2 steals, 3 assists, and then 6 rebounds. This was, I believe, when he was really dominating the ball and really taking over. And then 98, 99 is where he got hurt. He dropped to 19 points per game and such. So Penny Hardaway was a great player. He had potential to be probably, I believe he would have been the best player ever if he would have continued playing. We would have had him and Grant Hill up there together. Now, everyone always asks the question, if him and Shaq would have stayed with each other, would they have been successful? And the thing is, the problem is this. To me, Shaq was always the problem everywhere he went. Orlando and LA, Shaq was putting up these numbers, but Shaq was hurting the team by lack of rebounding, lack of free throws, lack of rim protection. Rim protection, he would be okay, but not to the. Shaq should have been at a level like Wilt. Wilt's all his stats weren't recorded, but if we would have recorded Wilt's stats would have blew everybody out the water. He had so many quintuple doubles. Him and Bill Russell had quintuple doubles. That's why I'm saying, if you want to talk about stats, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain had way better stats than LeBron. LeBron probably had more points than Bill Russell, but Bill Russell was a better all-around player. He was, and he made his team better. Because if you took Bill Russell off those teams, they don't win those championships. Because if you see the 2 losses that he had, he got hurt in those games, and they lost. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like people love to discredit guys because they may not have played so long or they played in a different era. Penny Hardaway was a way better player than LeBron. He was a chosen one before LeBron. He could do everything LeBron could do, if not better. He could shoot the ball better. He could score the ball better. He could pass the ball better. They were probably about the same in free throws. I say. But defensively, Penny was way better than LeBron on defense. LeBron probably could guard more positions because he was like 6'9" or 6'10", but Penny could guard the 1 through 3 efficiently and effectively better than LeBron. LeBron is a guy who piggybacks on defense. He likes to sit back, then he attacks. He likes to save himself at certain times. He'll play defense. But as far as a superior defender, no, he has bad technique. Penny had technique, fundamentals. Penny was able to play the passing lane. Also, Penny would play on your offhand where you weren't effective at. If you weren't real effective going right, he would push you right. If you weren't effective going left, he would push you left. This is what he used to do to Michael Jordan a lot. He would push Michael left. When I say Michael didn't have a left, I'm not saying, he couldn't go left. Michael was not as effective going left as he was when he went right. Like, it's like this. If you played 2K, Michael going left is 100%. You couldn't stop him. But if he went left, I would give him like a 70 or a 75% chance of killing you, which is still high. I would take that over a lot of guys who go left who's 100 because he could go right and kill you. Kobe was more of, I say, a 90-some% going left. Going right, he was 100, but going left, he was just as effective. That's why I would say Kobe was a better offensive player than Mike was. But we would be talking about Penny like we talked about Kobe. But the thing is, Penny, what he had to work on was his free throws. Now, when he got to the playoffs, his free throw percentage was still kind of poorish. So to me, that's why I would put Kobe over Penny, because Kobe was at least around 80-some%. Sometimes it would go up higher when he got to the playoffs. Defensively, Penny was a little bit longer than Kobe was, but Kobe was more aggressive, more physical, was more, physical, than what Penny was. Penny was more finesse. He had some physicality, but he was just gifted, man. Penny was he was Magic Johnson. He was the next Magic Johnson. You want to talk about comparing somebody to Magic Johnson, you compare Penny to Magic. LeBron is nothing like Magic. He don't have the feel for the game like Magic or Penny had. Penny could have took that Cleveland team he had and got them over the hump because Penny would have utilized his guys a lot more and more effectively than what LeBron did. And plus, Penny could play off the ball. He could play in the post. He could shoot the mid-range. He could shoot the three. He got better shooting the three when he got to the playoffs. And his handles were way better than LeBron's was. You know, I just think people forget because it's been so long ago since we seen Penny. And Penny got hurt. If Penny would have got a serious injury, he would have been on point. Now I disagree with Ticket TV. I like I said, I don't have beef with Ticket. I love Ticket TV's channel. Please support Ticket's channel and his boxing and anything he does. He's a brother man who's passionate, who's passionate about everything he does, and I respect that. But I disagree with him. If Shaq would have stayed in Orlando, Shaq and them could have won. But the reason I don't think they would have won championships is because of Shaq and Penny's free throws. So I might have to, I probably got to second guess myself on this. I might agree a little bit with Ticket. I agree to a certain extent with him. He might be right, though. Because think about it. Penny Hardaway lacked at the free throw line, but the one thing Penny would have been able to do, you know, Shaq needed somebody like Kobe to mentally challenge him and to get on him, to call him fat, to call him sloppy and slow. He needed that. He needed that to go at him and everything. So I like that. I backtrack. It's okay. I backtrack because I think him and Penny was too laid back to handle a Shaq. You needed a guy like Kobe to go at it with Shaq. But do I think they could have won if Shaq and Penny could have stayed? Yeah, I believe they could have won. I believe they could have won 3 or 4 chips. But the problem would have came down to, as always, Orlando would have choked because they didn't have a strong coach. Now, if they would have had a strong coach, then I believe they could have won about 3, 4 championships because they had a team. All Orlando had to do was get a bench. If they would have got a bench, and not only that, they probably could have brought in T-Mac. But they could have brought in T-Mac with Tim Duncan, and you could have still had Penny. Carcino for Life talks about this. They could have had Penny, Tim, and T-Mac. All you had to do was go get another guy, and you could have had Grant Hill still. If you would have had Penny with Tim, with Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, they would have won chips. So it would have been fine if Shaq would have left. But for them to bring in Doc Rivers, because Doc Rivers, I keep telling y'all, is an overrated coach. He's showing you now he overrated. He about to let the Nuggets beat him. Tuesday night, the Nuggets, he going to mess around and Nuggets going to beat him. Albeit I got the Clippers winning. I picked the Nuggets to win Game 6. And I said Game 7, the Clippers they're going to get hit early by the Nuggets. Then they're going to sustain and win the game. Kawhi's going to bring it home. That's what I believe. But Penny Hardaway is forgotten deeply, and to me, if Shaq would have grabbed his nuts and actually worked on his game, his skill, he would have been fine. Because in Orlando, Shaq was better to me than he was in LA. LA to me, he got fatter and slower and more lazier to me. But in Orlando, he had a little bit of control on his vices. But I believe they would have won championships. To me, I believe they could have won 2, maybe 3 at most. But all they had to do was add to their bench and get a new coach. If they would have got the right coach and added to that bench, Orlando would have been dangerous for 4 or 5 years. They would have dominated. But again, Shaq left because of the money and thought that they were trying to screw him on the money deal, which they didn't. It was a good deal in the long run because he could have re-upped after that and he would have got more money. when he went to LA, they took a lot of taxes out. Orlando and Florida don't have a state tax, so you get majority of your money, just like Texas. So, but Penny Hardaway, man, he was amazing. Penny, I am one sin. He was at Memphis. He dominated. You when I first saw him, I saw him in Memphis, and then I saw him at Blue Chips. So I was a kid at around that age. He made me fall in love with the Magic. I was like, man, he better than Shaq. At a young age, I said that. I said he's gonna be better than. I said, man, he's gonna be better than Mike. He was better than Michael Jordan. You know, he was better than Mike. He was better. He could do everything Mike couldn't do. He could go left. He could go right. He could shoot at a high clip. He could get his team involved. You know, he was that guy. And I just think he gets disrespected a lot because he was quiet. Kawhi Leonard his personality is just like how Penny Hardaway's personality was. They're very quiet and laid back. So and to me, that's a comparison. Penny could get vocal a little bit, but it wasn't to the point like Kobe. Kobe gonna cuss you out and get all in you. But Penny was laid back. He would say a few words to get his point across. But those Orlando teams were tremendous, even though they're Orlando Tragic. We kept losing, but you know, I did this from my boy Andrew Gray or D Dub. Somebody suggested, man, you need to talk about Penny. They forget how great he was. And I'm like, I don't know why, because Penny was dominating Mike and Pippen. Mike and Pippen, every time he played against them, Penny used to smoke them. That's why I be telling people, like, they act like Michael Jordan was just like, he's the greatest of all time. And I'm like, no, Mike wasn't. He was a great player. But Mike had times where he used to get killed. Somebody used to scorch him. It's just that the reason Mike was so great is Mike knew when to turn it on and when to turn it off. That's what made Mike one of the greatest. And he knew how to control the game at that point in his career. But early in his career, man, Mike did not know how to control the game. Mike would shoot you in or shoot you out of the game. And people just get on my nerves trying to tell me Mike was so efficient. I'm like, dude, Mike used to shoot some crazy shots too. And in some games, man, Mike would have a bad shooting night. But nobody talks about that. But they'll tell you quick, Kobe had a bad shooting night. They'll kill Kobe. But Michael Jordan is this God or Jesus where you can't talk about him, or it's going to be a fault. And I tell Jordan fans, y'all just as worse as LeBron fans. Both of y'all are the same. So I don't know why y'all get mad at each other when I'm like, dude, y'all the same. Y'all the same. Y'all are both the same, bruh. Y'all both cry about everything. Y'all act like your guys were the only guys on the team to ball out. Y'all act like your guys was the only ones on the team who just won everything, and it wasn't that. Now, I agree, LeBron and Michael have carried teams some nights. They had to. But that's what you're supposed to do. Kobe did too. Y'all don't want to give Kobe. Kobe carried Shaq some nights. Shaq did the same too. So it's a team game. Some nights Michael ain't have it. The team had to carry Mike. The team had to carry Mike in some games because, you know what I'm saying, Mike was shooting bad. He wasn't making the right decisions. He was dropping, he was missing some passes, or he would shoot, he would brick sometimes. You had a Mike brick night. So, it's just that I don't like to tear athletes down to make somebody great. I could talk about Mike and Penny, and I could talk about Penny and Mike in a sense. If Penny would not have gotten hurt, Penny would have been better than Michael Jordan. He would have. Him and Grant Hill would have been. Now, I don't know about Grant Hill. I think Grant Hill would have been behind Mike. But I think Penny would have been better. than Mike. Seriously, I believe Kobe was better than Mike, but everybody want to kill me for it and go off. And I be telling they be like, well, Kobe would shoot the ball. I'm like, dude, Mike used to shoot the ball a lot. I remember a game where Mike had a bad shooting night. It was against, I believe, the Hawks one year or somebody. He had a bad shooting night. He was shooting some crazy shots. That's why I'm like, y'all be forgetting. See, they just show you the great plays of Mike. They don't show you the bad. That's what I'm saying. Like Mike, even in the Utah series, Mike was having some bad shooting nights. It's just that Mike was so clutch down the stretch, you would forget about it. And it's the truth. And not only that, Mike is the media's god. That's their darling. They love Mike. Mike could do no wrong. That's why it's like, I tell people, dude, I don't know why Michael Jordan fans get mad. They used to do the same thing. I believe he got more calls a lot. Him and LeBron got the same amount of calls. They up there together for the most calls. Kobe got calls too, but not as much as them. Mike and LeBron used to get calls like out the A. But I done strayed away from the topic. But Penny Hardaway, for his career, Penny Hardaway was at 15 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 5 assists. But I don't go by those numbers because he got hurt down the stretch. I just go to his Orlando years. When he was at his highest peak for his 6 seasons in Orlando, he averaged 19 points per game, 3 turnovers. He had 6 assists per game. On a good night, he could get you 7 to 9, maybe 10 assists. He had 5 rebounds, 77 from the free throw line, 77%, I mean. From the field, he was 47%. From the 3, he was at 31. He got better later in his career at 33% from the 3. In Phoenix's 5 seasons, he was a role player. New York, he was a role player. But when he was at his top peak, he could get you about 20-some points. So Penny Hardaway's forgotten, man. It's just sad to me how he's forgotten, and he's disrespected like, he wasn't that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he never could get something done. But Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying, basically said if he retired, he said he would put Penny and Grant Hill as the successors. And I tell all these Shaq fans, if Shaq was so great, why would Jordan skip over him and say Grant Hill and Penny? Got to think about that stuff, guys. The media clouds your judgment. The media stands for multi-ethnical destruction in America. That's all it means. That's all it means. And it's bad. It continues to be bad on how they do it, on how they treat you. But that just lets you know, man, Penny. So, it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to argue all the time about this, who was better, Penny or Mike. We used to argue all the time. I used to say, man, Penny would smoke Mike. And then everybody would be killing me at the table. But Shaquille O'Neal, man, he left and everything because he was jealous. He got jealous of Penny. Penny was getting all the love. It's like, man, come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just disrespectful. But to say LeBron was the first to do this, man, it's been plenty guys. Oscar, Penny, you know what I'm saying? Penny, man, Penny was the truth. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan loved Penny. Michael Jordan wore Penny Hardaway shoes when he came back. When he came back, he wore Penny Hardaway shoes. That just shows you how much respect Michael had for Hardaway. Penny was the truth. And then they beat Jordan, when he came back, you feel me? Which nobody counted. I didn't even count that. I didn't count that at all because I already knew, Mike won at his peak. But I mean, it's like, come on. Penny Hardaway needs to be given his flowers, man, for what he did. He's the reason Tracy McGrady rocks the number one. He's Tracy and everybody's, he's their idol. But he pissed Kobe off because Penny curbed Kobe, and ever since then Kobe was trying to destroy him every game they played. But that's Kobe, man. Kobe got that Mike DNA, you feel me? That Mamba mentality. But like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell me what was your favorite Penny game. My favorite game of Penny was when he used to play against what's that team name? Yeah, when he used to go at it with the Washington Bullets and the Hornets. Man, he used to cross the hell out of cats, get to the second level, score. Used to post up and take them off the dribble. Used to hit the fadeaway on them, the hook shot on them. Man, Penny was a problem. But tell me, what was your favorite moment? Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share this, and hit the notification bell and hit select all. If when that helps you receive upcoming content. And not only that, if you want to donate to the page, cash at me at Harry2, which is HARRY2. And if you don't, just like the page and share it, tell everybody about it. I got my weekly review. I'm gonna start doing weekly reviews on football. Tomorrow I should have a video talking about the week. I'm going to tell you who I feel is going to win the Super Bowl or get there. And I'm gonna hold myself to it. But thank you for listening. And we out. Live boy.